Hello. Chapter 2, Concerning Meditative Technique. The form of meditation that I have found effective differs substantially from that generally given in the manuals on meditation. Footnote: Subsequent to the completion of these writings, I came into possession of Tibetan Yoga and Sacred Doctrine, edited by Evans Wentz. In the discussion of meditative practice given in one of the yoga manuals contained therein, I was surprised and gratified to find that my seemingly independent discovery of a meditative method was actually a rediscovery of a well-established and ancient principle of true meditation. End of footnote. Repeatedly, I have tried stopping thought and closing out these senses, but the artificially stirred thoughts affected was barren of results. Heretofore, the rich values have come to me through or while thinking. I finally took this fact as a key and abandoned all effort to stop thought or to interfere with the reports of sensation. In any case, the distraction caused by the latter I have found to be too weak to be of real importance. Through the larger part of my life, the thought world has naturally dominated the sensation world, so that sensation had come to mean little more than do small waves to an ocean liner. The issue thus lay between the thought consciousness and the transcendent consciousness, while the rest I found could be neglected. Now, within a process or manifold, a given phase or aspect may be isolated for special attention without stopping the process or eliminating the balance of the manifold. This is a familiar technique in scientific and philosophical thinking. When I recalled this fact and applied it, I found at once a really effective method of meditation. In fact, I realized I have done this for many years without regarding it as a meditative technique. It was by applying this method of isolation of the essential element in the midst of the complex, without trying to restrain the other components, that the transition was effective during the early part of this month. I think that there is an important principle involved in this method that may be of fundamental importance, especially as it accords with certain experiences that have developed in Western psychological research. Following the methods that proved so successful in physics, that is, the isolation in high degree of single causal factor in a given phenomena for the purposes of special study, the psychologists sought to achieve something of the same research efficiency in the psychical domain. Thus, for studying the effects of the particular stimuli, dark and silent rooms were invented. In this respect, some of the rooms were so well designed that perfection was nearly achieved. Subjects were placed in them, and then studies were made in a supposedly undistracted field. It was found, however, that a subjective distraction was introduced that interfered more than ordinary external diversion. The unusual darkness and silence placed the subject under abnormal stress, and the result was an aggravated psychical complex instead of the psychical simplicity that was sought. This corresponds exactly with my experience in trying to close out sensation and particularly thought in meditative penetration. But by ignoring the thought, it does tend to weaken in force, and there is an increasing degree of inner calmness. As the inward life takes hold, the thought becomes something like a subdued harmonic accompaniment to a strongly accentuated inner melody. Further, this accompaniment has a positive value. It is possible that an individual could penetrate the transcendental or subjective world and make no correlation with the relative consciousness. But if the thought current remains active, it can reflect, in some measure, the inner reality, and thus the personal man has a share in the awakening. In addition, this correlation is necessary if any of the value of the illumination is to be conveyed to the intelligence of other individuals.